At 2:43 a.m., the hospital was half asleep, the kind of quiet that only exists when most people are dreaming and the unlucky few are bleeding. A janitor pushed his cart down the hallway. Monitors beeped in distant rooms. Coffee burned on a forgotten hot plate. Then the emergency doors slammed open. Gunshot victim, multiple GSWs. The gurney burst through like a missile. Blood soaked the sheets, dark, heavy, already drying in places it shouldn't have had time to dry. The man on the stretcher wasn't moving. His chest didn't rise on its own. His skin had that gray-blue color that made doctors exchange looks they never said out loud. "Pulse?" someone asked. "None," the paramedic said. "Lost him en route." A long, flat tone screamed from the monitor. Most people in Trauma Bay 3 froze for half a second. That half second mattered. A young nurse stepped forward. Her name badge read Maya Lewis, 24 years old, 8 months on the job, rookie. She didn't look heroic. No dramatic pause, no speech. She just moved. "Time of arrest?" she asked. 234, the paramedic answered. 9 minutes. The attending physician exhaled slowly. "All right, let's—" "No," Maya said. It wasn't loud, but it cut through the room. She placed her fingers against the man's neck again, pressing deeper this time, searching where most people didn't. "He's still warm," she said, "and his pupils aren't blown." "That doesn't mean—" the doctor started. "It means he's not done," she finished. Silence. The intern hesitated, hands hovering uselessly. Maya didn't wait for permission. She climbed onto the stool beside the gurney and began compressions, but not the way she'd been taught in nursing school. Her hands shifted lower, her rhythm slowed. "Bag him," she said, slow and steady. "Count with me." The intern obeyed without realizing why. 1, 2, 3. The attending frowned. "That's not protocol." Maya didn't look up. "Neither is letting him die without trying." The room tensed. Blood pooled onto the floor, dripping off the gurney in thick drops. One of the doctors muttered, "He's been hit too many times, even if we get him back." "You don't know that," Maya snapped. Her hands never stopped moving. "Epi. Low dose." "Now, that's risky," the attending said. "So is doing nothing." A beat passed. Then the doctor nodded. "Do it." The syringe plunged. Nothing happened. The monitor stayed flat. The intern swallowed hard. "We're losing time." Maya closed her eyes for half a second. In that moment, the hospital disappeared. She smelled sand, heard rotor blades chopping the air, felt heat on her face and blood on her gloves that wasn't hers. A voice echoed in her head. Again. Her eyes opened. She pressed harder. The monitor flickered. Just a twitch. "Did you see that?" the intern whispered. Another twitch. Then a sharp spike. Beep. The room exhaled. "Pulse!" Someone shouted. It was weak, unstable, but real. "All right, move," the attending barked. "Trauma protocol, get blood ready. Call her." Chaos replaced stillness. Tubes went in, fluids rushed, machines hummed back to life. Maya stepped down, hands shaking for the first time. As they cut away the man's pants and shirt, the full damage became visible. Entry wounds everywhere. Chest, abdomen, neck, shoulder. Someone counted under their breath. 18, 19, 20 bullets. "How is he even alive?" the intern whispered. Maya didn't answer. She was staring at his shoulder. There, just below the collarbone, were 3 tiny scars. Old, burned clean, arranged in a tight triangle. Her stomach dropped. She knew that Mark. By 5:12 a.m. the man was stabilized, barely. He lay in the ICU wrapped in tubes and wires, breathing only because a machine told him to. The attending finally looked at Maya. "Good work, you bought him time." She nodded, already backing away. "Go take a break," he added. "You've earned it." Maya walked into the supply room and leaned against the wall, heart pounding. Her hands were still red. not shaking now, remembering. At 6:30 a.m., the hospital TVs switched to the morning news. A breaking banner crawled across the screen. Sources: elite Navy SEAL critically wounded in overnight attack. Security footage played beneath it, blurry, chaotic. A gurney, doctors running, and for half a second, a nurse in blue scrubs pressing down on a blood-covered chest. Maya turned the TV off. By 8 a.m., word had spread. Doctors whispered. Staff stared. Security doubled in the hallway outside ICU room 7. At 9:14 a.m., 2 people walked into the hospital who didn't belong. They didn't wear uniforms. They didn't carry weapons openly, but everyone felt them. One badge flashed silver. FBI, the man said calmly. Maya was charting when a shadow fell across the desk. Miss Lewis, the woman said, we need to talk about what you did last night. Maya looked up, and in that moment, she knew something very important. Saving that man hadn't been the dangerous part. It was surviving what came next. The woman from the FBI didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Let's take a walk, she said, already turning toward the hallway. Maya followed. Every step felt heavier than the last. They passed nurses who suddenly found reasons to look away, doctors who stopped talking mid-sentence, security guards who stood a little straighter when the badges flashed. The break room door closed behind them. Agent Daniel Cross took the chair across from Maya. The woman remained standing, arms folded. I'm Agent Cross, he said. This is Agent Miller. Maya nodded once. If this is about last night, I already filed my report. Cross smiled faintly. We read it. Twice. He opened a folder. Photos slid across the table. The trauma bay. The gurney. Her hands on the man's chest. You altered resuscitation protocol, Miller said. Why? Maya chose her words carefully. I made a clinical judgment. That judgment revived a man who was clinically dead, Cross replied. After 9 minutes. That happens, Maya said. Cross tilted his head. Not like that. He tapped the photo of her hands. Where did you learn that compression placement? Maya met his eyes. Nursing school. Miller snorted quietly. We checked. Silence stretched. Cross leaned forward. No instructor we spoke to teaches that method. Maya didn't blink. People forget what they teach, she said. Cross closed the folder. Do you know who that patient is? He asked. I know he's a human being, Maya said. That was enough. Miller finally spoke. He's an active duty Navy SEAL involved in a classified operation. Last night's shooting wasn't random. Maya's jaw tightened. So why is the FBI questioning a nurse instead of the people who shot him? Cross watched her closely. Because the people who shot him expected him to stay dead. The word settled like a weight. And yet Cross continued, here he is, alive. Because of you. Maya stood. Am I under arrest? Not yet, Miller said. Cross added, but don't leave town. They left without another word. Maya didn't sit back down. She went straight to the ICU. Room 7 was quiet except for the ventilator. The man lay still, chest rising mechanically. His face was bruised, stitched, swollen, but strong, built for endurance, built for survival. She checked his vitals. Heart rate low but steady, oxygen improving, still unconscious. She adjusted his fore and turned to leave. His hand moved. It caught her wrist. Her body reacted before her mind did. She twisted, ready to break the grip. But the grip wasn't hostile. It was controlled, intentional. His eyes were open, dark, focused, not panicked, not confused, awake. Easy, she whispered, leaning in. You're safe. His lips moved around the tube. No sound came out. His eyes flicked to her badge, then to her neck. Just below her jawline, barely visible, a thin scar. Recognition flashed across his face. His grip tightened once, then released. She froze. You remember, she murmured. The door opened. A doctor stepped in, followed by 2 armed men in plain clothes. The man's eyes shifted instantly. Threat assessment. Even now. "Step back, nurse," one of the men said. Maya obeyed slowly. As she left the room, her heart pounded, because now she was certain he knew her. Across town, in a dark operations room, Agent Cross stared at a screen. "Run her background again," he said. The analyst hesitated. "We already did, it's clean." "Then it's too clean," Cross snapped. "Run facial recognition. Old databases, military medical corps." Keys clacked. Seconds passed. Then the analyst stiffened. "Sir, I've got something." A file appeared. Holt, Maya E., U.S. Navy, Hospital Corpsman. Status, Kia, 2012, Afghanistan. Cross leaned back slowly. "No," he murmured, "that's not possible." The analyst zoomed in on the photo. "Same eyes, same scar, different name. Someone buried her," Cross said. Back at the hospital, Maya stood in the stairwell, breathing through the memories she'd spent years locking away. Dust, heat, screams over gunfire. She hadn't been a nurse back then. She'd been a medic. When her phone vibrated, she knew before looking. "Unknown number." She answered. "Yes, they found you," a voice said. Her blood ran cold. "I told you this would happen," the voice continued. "You should have let him die." She hung up. Across the street from the hospital, a black SUV idled. 2 men sat inside. "One's confirmed," the driver said. "The medic and the asset?" the passenger asked, still breathing. The passenger chambered around. "Orders are orders." In ICU room 7, the SEAL stared at the ceiling, replaying the night in fragments. Pain, darkness, then hands. Not shaking, not afraid. Hands he trusted. He knew that medic. He'd watched her die. Somewhere in the hospital, alarms suddenly blared. Security doors slammed shut. Maya looked up as red lights flashed. This wasn't protocol. This was a lockdown. And it wasn't for him. It was for her. The hospital went silent in a way that felt wrong. Not calm. Hunted. Red lights pulsed in the hallway. Automatic doors slammed shut one by one, sealing wings, locking stairwells. A robotic voice echoed overhead, repeating the same message. "Code Black." This is not a drill. Maya stood frozen near the nurse's station. Code Black meant one thing: active threat. Security guards moved fast now, hands near weapons, eyes scanning faces instead of charts. Patients were rushed into rooms, curtains pulled, elevators locked. A nurse whispered, "What's happening?" Before Maya could answer, a man in a maintenance uniform walked past her. Too fast, too calm. His boots didn't squeak. Her instincts screamed. "Stop!" she shouted. He turned. His eyes went flat. The gun came up. Maya lunged sideways as the shot cracked through the air. Glass exploded behind her. Alarms shrieked louder. People screamed. Security opened fire. The man dropped, but not before tossing something down the hallway. A small cylinder. It rolled to a stop near ICU room 7. Maya's breath caught. "Gas!" someone yelled. She ran, not away, toward the ICU. She hit the door just as white smoke began pouring out. Inside, a SEAL was already trying to move, ripping at tubes, forcing himself upright despite the pain that should have kept him unconscious. "Hey!" she shouted. "Don't!" Too late. He collapsed forward. Maya caught him. The gas burned her eyes, her lungs. She yanked a mask from the wall and slammed it over his face, then her own. Boots thundered outside. She dragged him, not gracefully, not gently, out of the room and into the service corridor she'd memorized years ago. "Stay awake," she said, hauling him along. "You don't get to sleep now." His eyes flickered open. Recognition. Trust. They reached the stairwell just as more gunfire erupted behind them. She shoved the door open and half-carried him down. 1 flight, 2. Her arms screamed. Her lungs burned. "Why? You?" he rasped through the mask. She didn't slow. "Because you weren't supposed to survive," she said, And neither was I. They burst out into the parking structure. Sirens wailed outside. A black SUV screeched into view. Maya swore. "Move," she snapped. The SEAL planted his feet despite the pain. The first man out of the SUV raised his weapon. The SEAL moved like muscle memory never forgot. He lunged, slammed the man into the concrete, and twisted the gun away in one brutal motion. The second man fired. Maya fired back. She didn't miss. Silence fell, heavy, ringing. The SEAL leaned against a pillar, breathing hard. "Still a medic," he said hoarsely. "Still hard to kill," she replied. Red and blue lights flooded the structure moments later. FBI, local police, military. Agent Cross stepped out, weapon drawn. He took in the scene, the bodies, the smoke drifting from the stairwell. Maya standing between him and the SEAL. "Drop it," Cross said. Maya set the gun down slowly. Cross approached. "Who sent them?" he asked the SEAL. The man met his gaze. Same people who erased her. Cross looked at Maya. "Talk," he said. So she did. She told him about Afghanistan, about being assigned to a unit that didn't exist, about patching men up just enough to send them back out, about the triangle mark, burned into skin to track survivors of interest. "They called us assets," she said, "not people. And the night you died," Cross asked. "They left us," she said quietly. "Ambush. No extraction. I dragged myself out." Cross exhaled. "And him?" Cross nodded at the SEAL. "He was part of the same program," Maya said. "They wanted him dead because he knew too much." The SEAL nodded. "They cleaned my team. I was last." Cross ran a hand over his face. "You realize," he said, "if this goes public—" "It won't," Maya said. "They'll bury it, like they buried me." Cross looked at the smoke still pouring from the hospital, then at the city beyond. "Not this time," he said. Across town, a secure line crackled. "Asset failed," a voice said. "Both targets alive." A pause. "Then escalate," another voice replied. "No witnesses." That night, Maya sat in a safe house. The SEAL lay on a cot nearby, patched up again. This time by her. "You saved me twice," he said. She shook her head. "I saved the truth." Outside, engines idled. Inside, Cross studied a flash drive Maya had pulled from her pocket. "Enough to burn them?" he asked. She nodded. "Enough to start a war." The safe house sat at the edge of the city, quiet in a way that felt intentional. No neighbors, no street lights, just darkness and the low hum of generators somewhere underground. Maya hadn't slept. Neither had the man on the cot across from her. The Navy SEAL, Ethan Cole, stared at the ceiling, jaw clenched as another wave of pain passed. Every breath felt earned. Every second alive felt stolen. Agent Cross stood at the small table, eyes locked on the contents of the flash drive. "This isn't just bad," he said finally. "This is catastrophic." Maya leaned back against the wall. "That's why they tried to kill us in a hospital." Cross nodded slowly. The files weren't just reports. They were orders, timelines, names, black ops missions authorized by people who didn't officially exist. Medical personnel classified as expendable resources. Survivors tagged, tracked, eliminated when they became liabilities. Ethan closed his eyes. "My team didn't die in a firefight," he said. "They were erased." Cross looked up. "If this goes public, it shakes more than careers." "Good," Maya said. "Let it." Cross's phone vibrated. He glanced at the screen, then looked up sharply. "They're moving." Outside, headlights flared. Too many. Maya's hand went to the weapon on the table. Ethan pushed himself upright. "I'm not sitting this one out." Cross met his eyes. "You can barely stand." Ethan swung his legs off the cot anyway. "Then make it fast." The first explosion rocked the building, shattering windows and throwing dust into the air. Maya was already moving. "Basement," she said. "Now." They sprinted down concrete stairs as gunfire erupted above them. The building groaned, lights flickering. In the basement, A reinforced steel door waited. Cross slammed his shoulder into the keypad and punched in a code. The door slid open. Inside was a small command room, monitors, satellite feeds, secure uplinks. This was a contingency, Cross said. Didn't think I'd ever use it. Gunfire tore through the stairwell. They'll breach in 30 seconds, Maya said. Cross looked at the flash drive. Then at her. If I transmit this, there's no walking it back. Maya met his gaze. There never was. Ethan took position by the door, weapon raised. Do it, he said. Cross hit send. The monitors lit up. Secure packets fired across the screen, sent to congressional oversight, internal affairs, allied intelligence partners, and one investigative journalist Cross trusted with his career. The door buckled. Transmission complete, the system announced. The blast knocked Ethan backward. Smoke filled the room. Maya dragged him behind the console as armed men flooded in. On the ground, someone shouted. Maya raised her hands slowly. Ethan didn't. He fired. The room erupted. Shots cracked, concrete shattered. Men fell. Maya moved with precision, pulling Ethan back when he stumbled, firing only when she had to. Then it stopped. Boots echoed. A man in a tailored suit stepped through the smoke. He looked calm, untouched. You've made a mistake, he said. Cross stepped forward. You're done, the man smiled. You think exposure stops this? Sirens wailed in the distance. Closer now. The man's smile faded. You were never meant to survive, he said to Maya. She met his eyes. That was your first mistake. Red and blue lights flooded the basement as FBI tactical teams stormed in. Hands up, weapons dropped. The man was taken away in cuffs, rage burning behind his eyes. Hours later, the sun rose. News alerts exploded across every screen in America. Breaking, FBI confirms secret military program targeted own operatives. Whistleblowers reveal illegal elimination of assets. Congressional hearings imminent. Maya watched from a hospital room window. Ethan lay in the bed behind her, alive, truly alive this time. You could disappear again, he said quietly. Start over. She shook her head. I'm done running. Agent Cross entered, exhaustion etched into his face. It's out, he said. All of it. They can't bury this. Maya turned. What happens to us? Cross smiled faintly. You get your name back. Weeks later, Maya stood outside the hospital where it had all begun, not as a rookie, not as a ghost, but as a nurse. A plaque had been installed near the entrance, in honor of those who served in silence and those who refused to stay silent. Inside, Ethan walked beside her, steady now. Funny, he said. They tried to erase you. She smiled. Didn't work. As they stepped through the doors, cameras flashed, questions shouted. But Maya kept walking, because this time, the truth was louder than the gunfire, and it wasn't going away. Can you believe how close they came to losing everything? One wrong move, and it would have been over. Tell me in the comments, if you were in Maya's shoes, would you risk it all to expose the truth? I want to see what you'd do, and if your heart was racing during that scene, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get this story trending for everyone who loves suspense like this. Think the story is over? Think again. There are more shocking twists coming, so make sure you stay until the very end of the next video, because some secrets are even bigger than you think. Share this with a friend who loves action, secrets, and heroic moves. They'll thank you for it. And if you don't want to miss a single mind-blowing story like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You don't want to be the last to know when the next secret drops, because sometimes the quietest people are the ones who change everything, and Maya proved that. Will you?